All right, Halloween fans, it is official. We finally have the announcement of the Halloween video game. We're going to jump right into all of the details and some of the screenshots. But before we do, please go ahead and hit the like button on this video and hit the subscribe button on the channel if you have not already. All right, guys, so we finally got some news on the Halloween franchise. We know about the TV show that may or may not be in development. We know about the possible movie that may be coming for the 50th anniversary, but all of that is up in the air right now. But what we do have officially confirmed, and we have a trailer, is the Halloween video game. So IllFonic and Gun Media released the teaser trailer for the new Halloween game, and I must say it looks pretty awesome. So I wanted to jump into some of the details on the game and just kind of go into the article by Bloody Disgusting and see what they're saying about the game so far from Gun Media and IllFonic. So here's the article from Bloody Disgusting. It says Halloween the game, single and multiplayer stealth video game releasing in 2026. So not quite the news I wanted. I was hoping we would get it a lot sooner, but we don't know when in 2026 this video game is coming. I hear a lot of channels speculating that we're probably going to get that game closer to the fall time in 2026, which I know that seems like the opportune moment to put that out closer to October because obviously Halloween. But I just get this gut feeling that we're going to get it a lot earlier than what most people are saying. I think we'll get it probably in the summer leading into the fall season, just in time to kind of boost up those sales for Halloween. That's just my opinion. I don't have any inside details or anything like that, but I do think we'll get it closer to summer. I want to be optimistic and say we'll get it a lot earlier than what most people are saying. But jumping right in, let's read some of the article from Bloody Disgusting. So it says here, in the wake of popular video games based on Friday the 13th and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we've learned out of Gamescom today that Halloween the game is coming soon. Michael Myers returns to Haddonfield in this asymmetrical stealth horror game for PC and consoles that immerses players in the terrifying events of John Carpenter's 1978 movie. The best news? The game will feature single and multiplayer modes. So that right there is probably my favorite part. I think we already knew that we were going to get an asymmetrical game. We knew we were going to get that multiplayer Friday the 13th type of game. But my worry was that we wouldn't get a really good single player mode. We don't know what the single player will be. Will it be based on the original 1978 film? Will it have some opportunity to change the outcome of that story from 1978? We don't know yet, but there will be a single player mode. That's one of the most exciting parts to me. I love the asymmetrical multiplayer. I'm going to be playing the hell out of that, but I am excited to just have some alone time and play that single player mode. Published by IllFonic, co-published by Gun Interactive, and in partnership with Compass International Pictures and Further Front, Halloween the game will stalk its way onto Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and PC via Steam and Epic stores in 2026. Step into the chilling world of John Carpenter's genre-defining film, now transformed into a suspenseful one versus many stealth horror experience. Put on the iconic mask to become the ultimate slasher, Michael Myers, stalking and executing the citizens of Haddonfield one by one, or striving to thwart Michael Myers' plans as civilians determined to save the unaware townsfolk before it's too late. So right away, I'm just loving where this is going. They're kind of diving into both the multiplayer and the single player modes. Stick to the shadows as civilians seeking out Haddonfield residents to warn them and searching for a way to contact authorities. As Michael Myers, give them a reason to fear the dark and cut the phone lines to prevent the police from ruining his favorite holiday. Whether playing solo in story mode, against bots offline, or facing others in online multiplayer, each mode rewards stealth, strategy, and skillful play. This is such exciting news right now. Now, we have some confirmation that we have the online multiplayer, which we knew we were getting. We have the online bots, the offline bots. We knew we would get some of that. And now we have some more detail on the story mode. Now, my worry about this is that, what are we getting with the online multiplayer? Are we getting, maps that are specific to 1978, where we maybe have a map of the Laurie Strode house, a map of the Doyle house, the Wallace house, maybe a map of a few of the streets, and everything is contained into 1978? Or, similar to Friday the 13th, do we have maps that expand across the entire franchise of Halloween? So, for example, do we get the alleyway from Halloween 2? Or do we get the Carruthers house from Halloween 4? Maybe the hardware store? Maybe the Myers house from Halloween 6? Are we going to get a lot of maps from multiple movies in the franchise? Or are we just going to get a contained 1978 game? So it says here, staying true to the original film, IllFonic masterfully recreates the eerie atmosphere of Haddonfield across multiple maps and authentic locations. Immediately, I'm getting this feeling that we are going to get multiple maps across multiple films. Continuing on, with a haunting ambience and score inspired by the legendary movie, Halloween brings the terror home in a new experience that will keep both the old and the new generations looking over their shoulders. Working with Compass International Pictures and Further Front has been a dream, said Charles Brungart, CEO and co-founder of IllFonic. As rights holders of the film and producers of the game, they've shared multiple incredible insights to help us stay true to the soul of the 1978 film. So that part right there scares me a little bit because, like I just said, I'm looking forward to having maps across multiple films, but it seems like they're trying to stay true to the 1978 film. But we can't let that fool us because that could just mean the story mode, right? They could be specifically talking about the 1978 film as far as the one player or single player story mode. That doesn't mean that transcends into the multiplayer mode or the offline multiplayer mode with the bots. Continuing on, it says, we are very excited to have partnered up with the great team at IllFonic to finally bring the definitive digital version of Halloween and Michael Myers to video game fans everywhere, said Malik Akkad, president of Compass International Pictures, Inc. So the rest of the article just kind of goes on to talk about the merger between all of these corporations to bring this game together. So I won't go any further into it, but I really hope that we go beyond 1978 because, in my opinion, I don't see us getting a Halloween 2, Halloween 3. I don't see this going into sequels of this game. I think we're going to get a one-and-done game that has a lot of updates, a lot of packs that you can purchase as far as maps, as far as characters, that type of thing. I don't see us going any further than one Halloween game. So my hope is that when it says, we're trying to bring the ambience of 1978, it's talking about the single player story mode and not the multiplayer mode, but that is yet to be seen. Now, with all of that said, I do want to dive into some of the screenshots that have come with the release of the trailer. So the first one I'm going to look at is Dr. Loomis, Donald Pleasence. I think he looks great. If you look at him here in this photo, I think they did a really good job of bringing Donald Pleasence to life as Dr. Loomis in this game. If you listen to the trailer, which I'll link down below, the voice of Dr. Loomis is not quite accurate. I didn't expect it to be, right? No one could really sound like Donald Pleasence. That's really hard to pull off. In my opinion, even the guy that played the voice of Donald Pleasence in Halloween Kills didn't quite nail it. It was really good. Don't get me wrong. It was really good. It felt authentic, but not quite there. And I don't expect any better for the video game. But I do think this is going to suffice to bring us, into the video game, like to immerse us into this game. I think he did a good enough job to make that work. The voice aside, the character that they put here in this photo looks really good. I'm hoping that we get to use Donald Pleasence as a playable character in this game. I don't know if that's going to be a thing, but I hope so. Moving on to Michael Myers himself. Look at this here. I mean, I don't know if this is exactly how it's going to look in the game, but if it is, this looks really good. I mean, the mask looks pretty on point to the 1978 film. The hair looks really good. I mean, what more can be said? I'm excited to play this game. Now, earlier I mentioned, like, are we going to have, as far as maps, playable maps like the Myers house or the Strode house? I don't know if we're going to get the Strode house as a playable map, but what we can see here in this photo is that the Strode house is in the game. There it is. That's the Strode house. I've been to it myself, so I know that this is it. Even the block that it's on looks pretty accurate, like where the trees are. If you want to go back into my channel and see some of my filming location videos, you'll see where I visited the Strode house, and this looks pretty good. It looks pretty accurate to the real location, so I'm excited about that. Now, this photo here, it has one of the characters. I don't think this is supposed to be Laurie Strode. I mean, she's not wearing the same outfit. Laurie Strode never had a bat in her hand at any point, but that could be part of the multiplayer mode that we're looking at here. At first, I thought this was maybe, an alleyway from Halloween 2, but you can see a front porch that this character is sitting in front of or kneeling in front of. So I don't think this is an alleyway, but pretty cool shot. It gives us an idea of what the graphics are going to look like, whether this is single player or multiplayer. I think it's multiplayer, but it gives us a good idea of what this Unreal Engine 5 is going to look like in this game. Now, this right here is a really interesting shot because here we have Myers facing off of one of the Haddonfield Police Department. Not quite accurate to the game. If you remember, they all wore that nice green coat with the fur top on it. That's not present here, at least with this officer. Now, what's interesting about this particular photo is that if you look directly behind the police officer, there is the Myers house. That's very clearly the Myers house. You can see the Strode Realty sign in front, the obvious design of the house. It's run down. But where they're standing is kind of this alleyway that looks like the alleyway from Halloween 2. But I have visited these locations myself, and I know that there's no alleyway in that spot. This is right on the middle of a street where the original Myers house stood. Right now, there are apartment homes that are sitting in that spot because it was moved. But across the street, there's no alleyway. There are other houses, which you can even see in the original film. Those houses are still there. That gives me an idea that they're not exactly mapping the original 1978 film, but still really cool nonetheless. Moving on here, we can see there's another house that very much feels like Haddonfield when you look at it. You look at the colors, you look at the trees, the darkness, the type of home it is. It definitely feels like the Haddonfield type of environment. There is a water tower sitting in the background. So it just has that Midwestern feel of Haddonfield. Now, this image here, this one feels definitely like the 1970s. It says the interior of a living room of one of the houses. We don't know what house this is, obviously, but it definitely has that 1970s aesthetic to it. So pretty cool that we can see the inside. I'd imagine that this is either going to be part of that story mode, or we'll get to run through some of these houses and get that 70s environment feel while being chased by Michael, or if you are Michael in that case. Here's another shot of Michael Myers in that alleyway that's directly across from the Myers house that doesn't exist. But this gives me hope because this makes me feel like maybe we are going to get some Halloween 2 vibes into this game, because this is obviously an alleyway that feels like Halloween 2. What's really cool is we get to see an up-close image of Michael Myers in this game. We get to see how the mask looks, and it looks very 1978. They did a really good job designing Michael Myers in this game. Here's another shot of the Myers house. It looks like maybe not quite the alleyway, but the side of a house that's near it. It looks like Michael's giving chase to one of the characters. Here's Michael standing in the living room of one of the houses, and you can see there's a person on the floor, probably one of the bodies after he took them out. So pretty cool shot. This feels very much like Friday the 13th, the game, but that's not a bad thing at all. Now, one of the things I was hoping for from the story mode is that we get some of that stalker vibe from Michael Myers. If you love the 1978 film, you know that there's not a whole lot to it till the very end. You know that majority of this movie, he is just stalking his prey. He's watching everyone before he makes his move. And this photo here, you can see there's just a silhouette, like a shadow, on the door that shows that he's just in the background watching. And I'm going to assume this is from the story mode. It has to be, because I don't see any scenario as a multiplayer where you get to have that kind of stalker ability. So I'm thinking it's a story mode photo right here, but really cool stuff. Another one that I think is definitely story mode, we see the back of Michael Myers. This is a camera shot from behind him, and he's looking at one of the cop cars from the Haddonfield Police. We can't tell where he is, what house he's in front of. But again, as far as multiplayer, I don't see any scenario where we get that kind of view as far as multiplayer goes. But I definitely think that's a story mode photo. Now, this is one of my favorite shots out of everything that's been released so far. And this is Michael Myers standing inside of the Myers house in 1978. It's run down. It hasn't been lived in. You can see the staircase. It's very obviously the Myers house. So it looks like that's going to be a playable map. It's going to be very involved as far as a story mode. I'm excited to run through the Myers house as a playable character and be just kind of immersed in the world of Halloween because of this. Now here's a shot of Dr. Loomis. He's got the flashlight in one hand, the gun in the other. I don't know if this is just a image of the character itself, or is this out of the gameplay? I don't feel like it is. Now, this doesn't quite capture the feel of Dr. Loomis. Dr. Loomis was, a little shorter, chubbier. This guy looks a little tougher than Dr. Loomis we see in the 1978 film. But again, this is a video game, so either way, I'm excited to play as Dr. Loomis if he's a playable character. It looks really cool. In this photo, we see Michael Myers standing in the kitchen of one of the homes in Haddonfield. And it looks like, one of the characters is there maybe washing dishes or doing something there in the kitchen. And Michael Myers is just stalking his prey and about to go on the attack. This type of photo gets me really excited for this game. So there are some other photos circulating around right now of the game. Those are the ones that really caught my attention. I'll leave it there. Let me know what you guys think about this game. Again, my opinion is that I'm really excited for a single player story mode as much as I am for the multiplayer mode that I think is going to be very clearly similar to the Friday the 13th game, which is not a bad thing. I think we all missed that game. Ever since they shut down those servers, we've all been kind of waiting for a moment where we could have a game like Friday the 13th. And now it's coming back from the same makers of that game. We have IllFonic and Gun Media making Halloween. This is going to be a fun game to play. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are you excited for this game? What do you think about the graphics and the still shots that we've seen so far? What are you hoping for from this game? Please comment below. And don't forget to hit the like button on this video.